very warm welcome to the Real Talk, yet another edition that I do hope will leave you happy, enlightened. We're coming to you from Mythos Boutique Hotel in Kiyovu. My name is Jackie Lumbasi, and our guest is the CEO and founder of Incuti Foods. I cannot wait for the story on entrepreneurship that is coming up next. We are at Mythos Boutique Hotel in Kiyovu. You need to check them out. Find them on the different social media platforms, but also visit them if you wish to have lunch at their Atmosphere restaurant. Let's get to meet our guest. Thank you for joining us. If you're here for the first time, welcome on board, and we do hope that you will be back. We also would love you to share the link to the YouTube channel, because we're live on TV and live on YouTube, so that we have as many friends as possible join the conversation. We have a guest, Tresor Gashonga, who's the founder of Incuti Foods. Tresor, pleasure to see you.
Yeah, it's pleasure's mine.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Before we start the interview, I want to know a little bit of your daily routine. So for a young businessman like you, what is your typical day like?
Normally, I'm a morning person. I usually wake up earlier in the morning at 5 a.m. And then most of the time, I basically take shower and I immediately went straight to my work. Most of the time, I start my work at home. And then I keep doing it until around like 8 a.m. And then as of 8 a.m., I get to go at my job, or basically at my office. Okay. And then I keep doing it until around like 12 o'clock.
As when you break off for lunch?
Yeah. And then from the lunch, I basically start to do the task that I normally call the easy work, because most of the time, I'm a bit tired, and then early in the morning, that's when I'm fresh. The hard work is done in the morning. So normally, because I'm fresh in the morning, that's when I get to do my hard work. So in afternoon, most of the time, I'm on social media, trying to interact with my team, and also trying to catch up with whatever that is happening, and also trying to involve in different business operations with my team.
Beautiful.
So, and then once it reaches at 4 p.m. or 5, most of the time I've gone to the gym or maybe going to play basketball. And then from 4 up to 6 p.m., most of the time I'm done with my exercise. And then I get to go back home, I take shower, and then from there I get to come back again at my job at home. And then I basically have the office at home. Okay. That's why most of the thing I try to, So
what time does your day end?
My day most of the time end at 7 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you come back to do the work from home, you're not doing much. It's just a little bit of tying up some loose ends.
Yeah. Trying to see, trying to basically do the follow-up.
Yes, and close the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's beautiful. I love that. A day in the life of a young CEO. Now, let's get back to where your life began. Before you became the young business person that you are today. Where were you born and raised? What kind of family do you come from? Share a little bit of that and some of your school time as well.
I was born in Rwanda, in Eastern Province. It's basically a place that is mostly known for growing bananas. And then I went to school in my primary. I went to school in Discovery School. It's basically called Discovery School there at Rwanda. And then from primary school, I went to GSOB. It is normally known as the Indatwaninyesha School there in Butare. And then from there, I went to ARV Kabutare. Still, it's basically nearby school as well. So, and then from there, I went to school at IPRC Msanze. And then from there, I started to do my own thing of
what
business.
What did you study at IPRC?
And in IPRC, I did agriculture engineering in specialization of food processing and technology.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How many children are you in the family?
We are basically 7 siblings, and then I'm the 6th one.
You're the sixth one.
Yeah.
Do we still have both your parents around?
Yeah, I do.
We thank God for that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Coming to Kigali. No, but before you come to Kigali, I want to know if you have any childhood memory that stands out for you. When you get back together with your siblings, is there a story that you keep going back to?
Me growing up, I've always been, the most stubborn kid. I always used to disturb my big sisters and my young brother, and I always loved that. So most of the time, and they used to love me for that as well. So every time I come back from boarding, they were basically waiting for me to start.
They were waiting for the family. Storyteller.
I'm always the person who always come up with the stories at the dining table. So me growing up, I've always been that kind of that kid that everyone couldn't get enough of him. You know what I mean? And then
I have a brother like that.
Yeah. So there are a lot of childhood stories, but one of the story that I truly cherish for, there was this restaurant in our neighborhood that we used to go to buy some sambusas. So we used to go there and grab some sambusas, I and my friends. And then we could go around in the streets, eating all these sambusas. It's one of the memories that I always, remember. And it's so crazy because it's actually the one that made me start my business. Yeah.
So where would you get money to buy the sambusas? Would you get from your parents or do some work around the village in order to earn?
Well, I, as a young person at the time, I had a lot of ways I could get money, honestly speaking.
Give us one way. Did you open your mom's purse without her permission?
That's a secret. That's a secret. But one of the way was maybe saving some pocket money that my dad or mom used to give me.
Yeah.
And then after getting back at home, then you could use that money or even ask your mom, some money because they know that we used to crave the sambusa and chapatis at the time in that, that come from that restaurant. So I could get the money in that way.
Good.
Yeah.
How did you end up becoming a businessman? Let's now come fast forward to a time when you're done with college, IPRC. Ordinarily, you should be out here looking for a job. But I imagine you didn't look for a job. You looked for a business idea. Or did you already have the idea by the time you graduated? Give us the backstory.
Me, normally, I'm a person who is always having a lot of ideas, turning in my head. But if I'm going to be honest with you, when I started, I didn't really know that I was even going to do a hot sauce business. But the truth, the fact is, as I mentioned earlier, I've grown up in Ramagana, in Ramagana village. It's basically the area where you see a lot of farmers, doing a lot of things related to agriculture and stuff.
And your family was also an active agricultural family?
No, they weren't truly active, but due to I was born in that area, I used to see farmers, and then even in a lot of my neighbors, they were also farmers, or even, doing catering and stuff. So, I have grown up, experiencing the farming life of the farmers, basically. So, and I was more often involved in several farming activities, like helping farmers access, the market for their produce. But 3 years ago, when I finished college, obviously, I went, I met a farmer, and then the situation that happened, me meeting the farmer, it's the one that truly got me realize what was happening. So to cut the story short, so as I told you, because I was basically, working with different farmers, helping them access market, there was this farmer that I met, haven't ever did chili before, who grew 10 tons of chili, and then she was expecting to get a decent buyer for her produce, And then by the time that I met her, it was too late. And she was desperately looking for a farmer because her produce had matured enough, almost about to load. And then she was expecting me to find her a buyer, which I failed to do at the time, right? So I realized that there is something missing in the chili value chain.
Okay.
And then I realized that for me, my thought was that there is a need for change, right? Because there is no way a farmer would lose produce that is worthy over 10 million Rwandan francs.
10 tons?
Yeah, 10 tons.
Oh, gosh.
It was really like worthy over 10 million Rwandan francs. So for me, it started out as a journey for curiosity, because everything that happened at the time with that farmer, I always asked myself, why is this? Why is this? And then
what exactly happened? Since you failed to find for her a buyer, what did you do? Did you buy the produce yourself?
So I didn't buy the produce myself because I wasn't able to do that, so honestly speaking, because what I was doing, I was basically doing the market linkages between farmers and the buyers across the globe. And I had basically an e-commerce platform, but also trying to connect them with the fresh produce exporters who are nearby, you know. And then at the time, I reached out to some of the buyers who to buy the produce of the farmers that I used to connect them. And then they said that they are in low season, they can't buy from her. And then for me, I was like, okay, it's so bad because we are so unfortunate. We lost over 60% of it, which is around like 6 to 7 tons. And then 40% that was remaining, I advised the farmer to dry them, and then we can find the buyer later on, you know. And then the most saddest part is that even later, we couldn't find the buyer for this dried chili.
Gosh.
You know, so for me, I was like, okay, then...
So even after it had been dried, you still did not find a buyer?
Yeah, you didn't find the buyer at the time. And then it was happening so fast, you know. So for me, I was like, okay, then we need to figure out what to do then. So I started off drying this dried chili into chili powder, took it to the market. And
you started with that farmer's stock?
Yeah, I started with that farmer stock.
Okay.
So what happened was most of the buyers didn't really like that chili powder. So for me, I was like, okay, then we don't have the chili consumers here in Rwanda, because I knew that there were a lot of chili fans, you know. And then for me, I was like, okay, let me do a survey. Then I interviewed almost like 30 people, which I didn't even know. And then they gave me the idea about the chili they are looking for. So for me, because I saw it as an urgent matter, an urgent problem, I was like, okay, we have got to figure out the way, bring the solution for this. So, and then, but what I didn't realize during that moment is that during that moment, that was the beginning, that was the born of Incuti food that it is today. So, that farmer, she's called Aris. She's a person that I truly believe that I opened, the gate for my life.
Like at the center of your story.
Yeah,
Does she still grow chilies?
Yeah, she does.
And you buy from her now, I imagine.
The craziest part is, as we continued to do the business, we realized that one of the variety that most of the people like is actually the variety that she don't produce now. She has now become, amazing person. She now has, a lot of buyers who export in different international markets. So she's doing the one that is called Badai chili, whereas for us we mostly do habaneros, but that's because of the story, the entrepreneurship journey also came with its own reality, but we stay in touch. And then she also connected us with some couple of farmers as well that we work with in Rwanda, Ghana, which is actually one of the things that we appreciate.
Good.
So, but
That's
she
good.
definitely opened the gates for our business.
I love that. So did you then start in a big place or a small place? And are you still where you started from? Or did you move to a different like factory? I'm asking, I don't know how big your establishment is. Is it a big factory? Is it something that you're doing from a small, sizable place? Just like the actual place. I ask that question because sometimes people don't start businesses because they're thinking, I don't have a place. Some say I don't have capital, others say I don't have a place, others say I don't have an idea. You didn't have an idea, but an opportunity presented itself that got you thinking of a business idea and you actually implemented it. What did it take for you to implement? And in what sort of place did you start or space?
So, well, the space that the premise we are basically operating in is really, really huge. Nah, I'm
It's
kidding.
huge.
But yeah, it's a sufficient, premise for our production right now. It's not where we want to be, but we can do the work that we want,
Okay.
So, and then for me starting out, I basically really started, in my auntie's place because I used to go there and borrow her blender so that I can do some experiment. Then later on, I could come back at home with some sauces that have crafted, and then trying to present it to different people to gather the feedback. But me starting out after some few months, I was lucky. I just got an entrepreneurship program that is called Tourism Inc. from ESP. And then that's where I got the prototype fund to come up with the concept of the product. And then, but the journey is always, not easy, honestly, because once you dive in deeper into business,
Yes.
the more it grows, the more it requires, huge capital as well. So for me, because I was like, okay, at the end of the day, if it requires us to do something, we need to figure out the way we do it with the capacity, with the resources we have, right? So I borrowed my auntie's blender for like 2 months, shout out to her. And then I was basically experimenting with it until I got that fund. I bought my own, and I also moved from my home to the premise that we are still operating in as of now. And then, that's how it started.
That's good.
Yeah.
So coming up with how many flavors do you have now? What did you start off with? And how did it evolve? Because now you've got several flavors out in the supermarkets. If you can just share a little bit about crafting or blending the different flavors, and then just a bit of how you got yourself onto those shelves.
So,
because that's another tricky part. People struggle with that. Huh?
Yeah, sure. So, for us, the way it went was that I started off trying to understand, first of all, the need for the customers, the need, the product the customers they were looking for. But we started off with a signature hot sauce that we call our original signature, actually, because we just wanted to bring something really bold and authentic, because most of the customers, they were really looking for, the sauce that not only bring the heat to the food, but also enhance, the taste, the overall taste of the food, right? So it's the one that we started off with on the market, and then we pushed it a little bit for something like 6 to 8 months, until a lot of customers, loved our sauce, and then they started to give us, a lot of recommendation about different sauces that we can do. And then from that time, that's when we started off to bring in our pineapple hot sauce. We started to bring another extra hot one, because the one that we had before was not that hot, but it had a good balance of heat but also flavor, right? So for these people who are looking for something really, strong, they couldn't get it from the initial sauce that he introduced on the market, right? So then later on,
you needed to advance.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, because when you are solving the problem that is existing on the market, it's so easy to bring something that people are also are willing to pay as well. So
exactly, people will be willing to pay. People will be willing to help you improve it.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, my approach is areas like, are you willing to do something that somebody is willing to pay, right? Because what would happen in our business is that we could get a lot of feedback from the customer and be like, hey, can you do as mango? Can you do as mango, pineapple flavor? And then we are like, okay, which one can we do then? So
I'm about to ask you to do for us lemon chili flavor.
Yeah, you see, it exactly start off
Please,
like
the viewer
that.
gets to hear this. The next time you see Incuti Foods lemon chili, you should know it's my idea.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it always starts, right?
Yeah.
People give you a recommendation, then you're like, okay, then we've got to, to craft this, right? So, and then now we are also about to bring a new flavor on the market that we believe that most of the people are going to love because we co-created it with our customers. But to cut the story short is that you asked me about how we managed to get the product in the stores, right? Yeah. So for us, one of the things that we knew from the get-go, we knew that it wasn't going to be easy. And then we were like, okay, we've got to figure out all ways possible to get all these products in the stores, right? So in year one, we managed to actually get in around 120 grocery stores.
Wow.
Right, so what we were basically doing...
That was commendable. That was quite massive.
Yeah.
120.
120.
In the first year of doing business.
Yeah. So what happened is, these products are related to to taste preferences of people, right? So so for us, we were like, okay, we invested a lot of money into giving people samples, and then we could get to a store and then present to them the sample. One of the things that we really cracked at the time was the branding aspect of the product, right? Because the one that was on the market that are locally made, they weren't really like having good appealing and stuff. So for us, one of the things that we realized was like, okay, if you can come up with a really good brand, and also you have really good appealing packaging, because when the product are there, most of the time the customers tend to buy the product that that attracts them.
Captivating, yes. Beautiful to the eyes, because that's the first thing you see.
Yeah.
Before you taste the content, you are looking at the packaging.
Exactly. So for us, these are some few of the things that I realize, from the get-go. Yeah, like, okay, and then we give them the samples, they test them out, they be like, oh, this sauce is amazing, then why not can't we, put them on the shelves, right? So, but doesn't mean that we also got a lot of rejections, so it's I can call it, it's a game of trying your chances and do whatever possible that you can possibly do, and then
so you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, and wait for the result,
Beautiful. We will be back. We're talking to Tresor Gashonga, who's the founder of Incuti. I would love to know how you came up with that name. Yes, we hope that this conversation is teaching you something. If you're interested in entrepreneurship, look at this young man who's now doing big stuff. He's got his sources in different supermarkets around the country. This is the story. This is how we started it off. If you're sitting there on an idea that could become something big, maybe it's just about time for you to get off that couch and start pursuing the dream. My name is Jackie. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Use the hashtag #TheRealTalk. Anywhere online, we will find your comment. And while you're at it, share the YouTube link so that we have our people watch the conversation, because we're live on TV and on YouTube. Mythos Boutique is where we are at. You should find time and come enjoy their weekly lunch buffet. If you have a small office engagement, a small event that you want to host, talk to them. They're on different platforms, and they also have a website that you should visit and get in touch with them. They will be looking forward to hosting you. We're taking a break. We will be back in a short while. We're glad to have you with us on The Real Talk. Use that hashtag and talk to us. My name is Jackie and our guest is Tresor. He founded Incuti Foods. If you've been around supermarkets and kiosks or boutiques, you have seen the sauces, made in Rwanda sauces. If you've not tried that out yet, I highly recommend. Tresor, for somebody that is watching, a young man, young woman who loves your story and they want to become business people, what would be the advice that you give them? Advice on where to start, how to start with what you have. Sometimes we say that and it sounds cliche, but from your experience, what advice would you give to a young person?
Thank you very much for that. My advice would be more about, understanding the problem more than it is for anything else. Because once you had the problem wrong, it's so difficult to bring the solution, right? So, one of the biggest mistake that I had I made in the beginning was trying to think that my thoughts comes before first, but customers' problem come before, right? Come first. So
let me use a typical example, Tresor. By the time you are coming with Incuti Foods and you're giving us sauces, what exact problem are you solving? Because when I go to the supermarket, I already have a range of chili sauces, locally made, imported, and there seems to be an oversupply. What sort of mind do you have that makes you see a problem where Jackie doesn't see it?
So that's basically the core of my thoughts that I gave you right now. But for me, before, I thought that, okay, having farmers who are, meeting with the, problem of not accessing the market, I thought that was, one of the biggest issues. The fact is, it is, but also when it comes to a customer's end, because he's the one who is going to pay the money at the end of the day. So for me, one of the things that I didn't pay attention to was to understand which specific flavor profile they were looking for, right? Because for me, I was like, okay, although I even did the survey, there is some of the point that I missed out, right? So, and then what I realized later was that the customers are actually looking for products that are consistent, that are the product that are of high quality, but also they were looking for unique flavors, or various flavors on the market. Because one of the things that wasn't there was that a person would be looking for maybe eat steak over the weekend with maybe a sauce that has, as you said, maybe some lemon flavor in it, but then they couldn't get it on the market. So, and then as a lot of people had a lot of different, background experiences going here and there in different countries across the globe, and then people, were looking for variety of flavors in a way. Then for me, what I had wrong, in the beginning, I thought like, okay, I'm going to craft the sauce the way I want.
You thought you were solving a problem that was your problem.
That was my problem, right? Whereas the problem technically is for a client,
for the clients, for the customers.
For the customers.
Yes.
So for me, I had to come back again to redo the survey to understand clearly what they were looking for.
That's why you say it's important to understand the problem.
Yeah.
Trying to come up with a solution, make sure you understand what the problem is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then it's a closure.
How about the issue of resources? Because now, once a young person, your age mate, has understood the problem, where do they look to get resources? Funding, skills? Because I imagine they don't just go in like that. They need some sort of preparation. Where did you look when you had the idea and you needed funding? Did you go online? Did you do some extra studies?
So for me, the way I would say it is figure it out.
Okay.
figure it out in all ways possible. And then by trying to figure it out, you know that you are not, just sitting there. At least you are
You're on the
moving.
move.
So one of the way to get the resources is simply trying to use what you have near you, but also there are a lot of funding programs that are going on. For me, what I did was we are Gen Z, we are young, we are always online. So I saw a tweet from my friend talking about the program, and I was like, okay, what's this? And then I went through it. I saw I read the criteria, and I was like, okay, I stand a chance.
I like that.
I sent my application, but one of the easy way is there are a lot of funding programs that are going on here in Rwanda, which most of the people are not even aware of.
Yeah, but people don't even apply for them, and
they
are there.
Yeah. At some point, they might think that it's a scam or it's not even real. True. But even if it can be a scam, you better apply it because you're not going to lose anything. Yeah.
Apply, don't get through, but at least you did something.
Yeah. So for me, I did the research before, and then I wrote a list of around almost 30 institutions that give funds. And then I had to pin the notification on Twitter, which is now X. And then every tweet they would tweet, I could get the notification and check out what is happening.
There's something of interest.
Yeah. So, and then some of the few funds that I have got now, they just come from, trying to be, active on social media, trying to talk to people in the ecosystem, because, this saying, they say that the more you stick around the barber shop, you eventually get the haircut. So one of the things that I love about the ecosystem is that, in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, you need to be there. You need to surround yourself with them.
Be known and get to know people.
Exactly. Yeah. With the people who are likely to tell you something, or maybe who have some sort of different information that can help you. So being in an ecosystem, it's also one of the things that it really helped me. Not even getting the actual resources of money, but also getting the variable connection that that human capital. There are a lot of things that goes with the resources, but it's a big discussion when it comes to finding the resources, because you've got to figure it out in any way, in all ways possible.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So businesses do struggle. They say there's a big percentage, I can't remember the exact figure, but a very big percentage of startups don't celebrate their 5th birthday. That's what they say. So you've done 3 years. What are you doing to make sure your business grows as opposed to closing? What are you doing? What strategies are you applying to make sure that even if you struggle, you're not going out of business?
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give my business a lot of time.
Okay.
Because one of the things that happen is that when you're trying to learn the business, absent-minded, or maybe that's the wrong term, but not being really there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What happened is you don't know what is going.
You start a business and you let other people run it on your behalf. You're not there to run the business. You're not even trying to be part of it. Yeah, it has negative effects.
So actually, that is one of the things that truly helped me, a lot since the beginning.
So you give it 100%?
100%, because once you are there, that's when you can get to know what to do and what's not going well, So, and then second, what I'm trying to do is building a strong team. Which I believe, I don't know where Incuti will be without the people behind it, because it's about the teamwork and the brilliant minds that are put together, and then they create big things, right? So that is one of the things that we are currently working on, trying to empower them, provide them the capacity building. And the third thing is that we are trying to obviously find some export markets for us, because you've got, when you're in the business, you are areas to figure out what are the best chances that you could areas be selling, you know, or maybe tapping to different markets, or maybe expansion, you know. So what we do, you know, it's a general case for every entrepreneur. His areas, you know, spending his most of the time, you know, trying to do the business planning, trying to project or do the expansion plan. So one of the things that we are currently working on, we have started to do it as well, you know, getting to international market, trying to position your brand very well, trying to, because it's the game of staying on top of mind. Because if you didn't know me, you couldn't, you
wouldn't be here.
I wasn't supposed to be here, you know what I mean? But the more you know, you keep shouting.
I love that.
You know?
Yes, you're shouting.
You have to shout.
Marketing, and I love that.
Yeah, exactly. So that is one of the things that we are trying to do, so that instead of, you know, staying, you know, pretending that people are going to come at you, you have to basically figure out the way you can get to them first, you know.
How do you deal with rejection when you go? I know there are different places, like, for example, Mythos, that you do supply your products, but I have a feeling there are some places you've gone to, and maybe they told you, no, we don't want this. When that has happened, how did you deal with it?
For me?
Yeah.
I mean, I have...
Have you faced rejection?
I have faced more than probably like 100 rejections, so I'm used to it. But one of the things that happen is that for me, I'm that kind of a guy who is not, I don't take no as a no. At some point, I take it as a lesson, because I'm be like, okay, then if this one rejected me, what should I do next? Or maybe what should I correct, you know?
So when I come back, so next time they will accept me.
Exactly. Areas have to stick around the barber shop, you know, coming back. And the craziest part is most of the time we don't realize that some people, you know, saying no, it's something natural to people, you know, especially when it's a customer. A customer don't like to say like yes
no.
at the first place. You know.
Default settings.
Say
no.
So once somebody once I get a rejection from somebody, what I be like, okay, I always go back at home, and then I have my journal where I write like, okay, this started like this and this, and then once I get here, that's where maybe it might be even coming from my end, right? I'd be like, okay, maybe this is where I messed things up, and then what should I collect the next, you know? Because the way you present yourself, the way you present your product, the way you present your company, all these things matter. And at some point, you have to believe that all the customers are not yours.
True.
So
yes, others could just go to another person, and it's okay.
And it's okay. And then the true reality is that you reach around maybe 100 customers, and only 20 will accept you, and then
that's what business is now. And
then later on, these customers, as you continue, try to improve your business, as you continue, improve your product, these customers will eventually come along the way. So since you are solving, a really, a true world problem. So,
what is the biggest challenge that you have faced, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenge that I faced was truly the capital, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, because all these things are made by money, but
so once you overcame the capital problem or the capital challenge, everything else fell in place, huh?
It never ends. Yeah.
Okay, that was the biggest. So the rest of them are small.
Yeah. Why would you end it like this? But
okay.
But the thing is that that is one of the biggest challenge. But it also teaches you some lessons, because before I used to think like, hey, we need money to do this and this, and it is real. You need money to do different stuff, buying machinery, doing marketing, getting in the store, a lot of things, But one of the things that I tried to do was that there is this saying people like to say, go bolo Peter to pay Paul. You know.
Yeah.
So as I said, you have got to figure it out. If you get a chance to get maybe a loan, and it is going to work for you,
pay it back.
yeah, as long as you can pay it back, get it. If you get a grant, you know, buy a machinery or do something. If you see a person is telling you like, hey, I like your chili, I want, you know, this amount of volume, then ask him like, hey, okay, do prepayment. Or give
so that
me,
I can meet your demand.
Yeah, so that I can meet your demand, right? So, and at some point you could borrow some money from somebody, and then be like, okay, hey, for me, I used to do that with my family, especially my siblings, shout out to them, because I'd be like, hey, sister, you know what?
Yes.
This is what I'm doing.
There is a client here.
There is a client here. I need money. I don't have money. Can I borrow 1,000 USD from you and then I use
Once
it
I
for
sell this,
then I
I'll
give
pay
it.
back.
Yeah. And then some of them, they be like, okay, wow. What you're doing is it's something, you know, real. It's something really
if you're
valuable.
borrowing such amounts of money,
it's going to make money, you know. And then I could raise money from in that way and then do something. Then you know, it's just solving one problem at a time, or you know. So it's
an ongoing journey.
It's an ongoing journey. Yeah.
Before we look at 6Qs, just tell me how you came up with the name Incuti Foods. What is special about that name?
So that name is
the name Incuti.
Yeah,
Incuti is friendship, eh?
Yeah, it's a friendship.
It's friendship.
And that's actually the core of our business, because it started off as you know, it's my childhood story, as I told you before. There was this restaurant in our childhood, in our childhood area, and then they were selling amazing sambusa. Everybody who was laid in Rwanda knows restaurants. I mean, knows a smart restaurant. Yeah, exactly. It was called even Smart. I was like, oh, these guys are so smart. How did they even happen to come up with that name? Smart restaurant, you know? So they were selling amazing sambusas and chapatis. So I and my friend coming from boarding, as I said earlier, we used to go there and grab, you know, sambusas. A group of friends and stuff. It was basically a place that was basically, you know, reuniting us, or you know, bringing back us together and stuff. So for me, starting my business, I even, you know, tried to generate a couple of names. But one of the things that truly, you know, made sense to me, that was really reasonable to me with the name, the food, was really like the memories that I had with, you know, with food, the bond that we created with my friends, right? So
over food.
Yeah, over food. I was like, okay, wow. Actually, food is not always about, it's not areas about, you know, feeding your stomach, eating, and all this kind of. It can be also something that can bring people together. They can create strong bonds, strong relationships between people. And then you're like, okay, why not? Can't we create food that bring people together? And then they create everlasting memories, as it did for me, because it's, you know, still these friends, we're still friends, and it's been something like maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
And now when you come together and you're having that steak, you're pouring some Incuti chili.
I'd be like, guys, you're the one who made this happen. Shout out to you. Yeah.
Thank you. We will be back with Tresor's 6Qs. Welcome back. This is The Real Talk as we edge towards the end. A big thank you to Mythos for hosting us. Follow them on the different platforms and check them out for accommodation, and they'll host your small party as well. Tresor, 6Qs. These are quick questions. We'll just fly through them. What is your favorite hobby?
I like playing basketball.
Playing basketball. Number 2, when you come together with friends, what do you love to do most? Eating, drinking, playing, dancing. Telling stories, what do you love to do with your group of
That's a
friends?
trick one, but I like telling stories.
You like telling
I
stories?
like telling stories, and normally when I'm with my friends, I like to bully a lot. So
Question number 3, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Spiritually, mentally, physically?
yeah, I see myself as
Where do you want to be?
yeah, I see myself as a strong entrepreneur who have built a couple of brand,
Beautiful.
having some that are really successful, but also I see myself as someone who have who has got some big impact to the community, but also I see myself as a father who has maybe a kid or has a family.
Love
So
that. Okay.
yeah.
And then what do you do? What do you know today about entrepreneurship that you wish you had known earlier?
One thing that I wish I knew earlier is that you need to spend enough time trying to understand the problem on the market and trying to understand what it takes to win. Because once you know all that, the journey become even more easier.
Okay. What word describes you best?
So
A single word.
I'm an optimistic person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last but not least, what would you say to your younger self? You're young.
My
Yes.
little young.
Go back a few years younger, 5 years younger. What would you say to yourself?
5 years younger from now.
Yeah. When you look back, because the advice you give to a younger you will be taken by the young person that is viewing.
I'd be like, figure out something that you love, because this is about chasing your dreams. It's about doing something that really that makes you interested, that makes you excited every morning. So figure out something that you can do that you love, and always do the hard work.
There's a popular saying that do something that you love, and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah,
You'll always look forward to a new day.
Yeah, exactly.
Tresor, thank you. This has been a beautiful conversation. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Tresor Gashonga, the founder of Incuti Foods. Please find him online. He's an amazing business person. And if you're interested in entrepreneurship, he's a young man that you can ask questions and he will give you answers. If you're already in business and you're facing challenges, have a conversation with him. He might help you maneuver. For me, it's been a blessing sitting down with him and getting to learn. My God, I get so inspired by young people doing great things with themselves. We look forward to seeing you next week. You take care. God bless you.